of the end time. One of the things he told them, he said, look, false Christ will come. He said, don't be deceived. In other words, there's going to be, he said, to precede this, a false Christ will come. There are those who will come to say, look, I am the Christ. He said, no, don't be deceived. In other words, like I said, a physical person we will see in fulfillment of this prophecy of his second coming. He said, many false prophets will come. He said, some would say, oh, he has come, he's in the desert. He has come, he's in the mountain. He said, no, don't be deceived. Don't run at Ascata. Don't go anywhere chasing shadows. He said, it will not be like that. Nobody will manipulate or monopolize his coming. It is not something that is going to be private. And then he went on. After talking about the signs, he said, he will appear in the clouds. And all eyes, Revelation chapter 1, verse 7, the episode that we read. He said, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. He will come in the clouds, and every eye shall see him. Chapter 22. He which testified these things said, surely, surely I come quickly. So Jesus Christ is coming back. In Acts of the Apostles chapter 1 and verse 10 and 11. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, that was his ascension. When he resurrected, he went up. As he was going, said the disciples and those gathered, they were looking up. And as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, in like manner, it shall come as ye have seen him go into heaven. In the same way that he went. When he was ascending, he did not enter into different bodies and then started to know. He ascended as a singular entity. And they were watching him go. He said, in like manner, this same Jesus will come. And in case you say these were testimony from third parties. Testimonies from third parties. John the Revelator, the one who received this revelation, John the Beloved, you know, he wrote a gospel, that very peculiar gospel of. He emphasized on the divinity of Christ in that gospel. In chapter 14, maybe verse 2 and verse 3, that Jesus by himself, hear what he said. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I have no reason to lie to you. I go to prepare a place. That's Jesus himself. I will come again. Of course, he came at the first time, and we knew how he came. Came man, we all saw him. He said, I will come again in like manner. So the fact of Jesus' second coming is not to be disputed, is not arguable. Okay, can we get one of the clip? Perhaps the Lekki clip, or which one? Anyone, anyone.
Last year, in December, Albert Igwe, the group CEO of Access Bank Nigeria, moved into his new house at Lagos. This building is a mighty, imposing edifice that speaks to his ambitious class. It was his dream house, and so no cost was spared in building it. It is a state
We may not bother about the voice. Just let's see
and
the pictures.
automated as well. Type of house where Siri and Google Assistants control the basic functionality of the property. According to a rough estimate, the knowledge of this property is said to worth over 10 billion naira, and the reason why Albert spent that much on the property was not far-fetched. This mansion, this edifice, was meant to serve as his retirement home in Lagos, so he made sure he spent enough money to build it. In January, he hosted Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, and his best friend, Femi Otedola, in the new property. They had dinner together, but before that, he took them around his new property to show the two Forbes billionaire his new acquisition. This isn't just your average Lagos mansion. In fact, this is a king among houses. Obviously, the marble's floor are crystals like gold. What about the floodlights? The floodlight is obviously superb to watch. It is not wrong to say the security here is also tighter, like that of Aso Rock, with cameras sharper than Mama Ekundayo's gossip. Step inside and prepare to be humbled. A living room fit for a king with enough space to host all your cousins from village and still have enough room for Owambe. Remember, this is just a taste. This house has more rooms than a palace, more amenities than the five-star hotels, and enough opulence to make your neighbors faint. See bedrooms like mini mansions, each with his own jacuzzi and balcony view.
I think you have seen enough. How many of you would like to have this kind of mansion? Some of you are not sincere. Some of you will be saying, what a waste. You know, wealth is relative. Some of you are shaking your head. Wealth is relative. The wristwatch you are putting on, for some of us, our wristwatches maybe 300,000. Is that not? Or 200,000. There are wristwatches of 500. Why did you not wear that? Some of the handsets that we are using, some are using 1 million handsets. There are still handsets of 15,000. Equipment. It's not that you say, oh, doctor, there is no scanning machine in UBTH. No. The thing is here. Some couples are still discussing the matter. A home, everything that is there. Can you play the other? It's not ready. Okay. They will still play the other. In John, that we read, John 14, he said, let not your heart be troubled. Let not your heart be troubled. There are reasons to make them troubled, to make their hearts troubled. And what were those reasons? At the time that Jesus was speaking, he had just finished telling them, of course, that he was going to die. Someone who has been their anchor, who has been their rallying point, who has been their sustainer in the midst of the fierce persecutions. And then he was going to leave. And then they have also been informed that their spokesman, their senior apostle, was going to deny Jesus. The one who they have been looking forward to as their captain, he said, this one is denying me soon. And the bomb was that one of them was going to be a betrayer. That's Judas, the one who has been carrying the CBN governor of the team, was going to betray Jesus. So you can imagine how gloomy their mood, unpalatable news. And Jesus looked at them in that state and said what? Let not your heart be troubled. There's tendency that they were not going to be homeless, perhaps. Because even when Jesus was around, remember he said the foxes, they have holes. The birds, they have nests. The Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. So anywhere they see, they were laying their head. But they were having comfort because of his presence. Even in the sea, they didn't mind to be in the sea. As long